Hey everybody, Amber here. Welcome to my kitchen. That's Dorothy in the background. You may see her and her twin sister Barbara running back and forth from time to time. I'll do my best to keep them quiet so you guys can hear me, but it is their slap happy time, as my grandmother Dorothy used to say, who she is named after, and her sister Barbara is named after my other grandmother. Anyways, it's been a long time since I've updated you guys. Several reasons. It's been a crazy year, for one. We had a lot going on. Our beloved Lyric passed away about a year ago now, and that was really hard on us. That was right after I started treatment, and that was about the last time you guys heard from me. So I have had, since last year, started making videos in April, and that was my first treatment, and then I had another treatment in May, and then one in June that John took me to, and then we took July off, and then I went back in August with my older brother Eric. Thank you, Eric, for that. And then since then, we really needed to take a break for many reasons. It was just a lot on my body going back and forth every month, and a lot on our finances, considering none of this treatment is covered by insurance, which I am very passionate about that. In addition to that, we had a lot of stuff going on with our business and just house repairs we needed to take care of, and I just wanted to be around for all of these transitions and things like that. We had some staffing changes to our business, and I didn't want to leave with all of that stuff up in the air. But we were able to get some stuff done around the house and free up some money from some of our equity and get me back into treatment this year, and it's perfect timing. My neck, after these first 4 treatments that I had last year, was doing a lot better, and I had a progress check, which is why I felt pretty comfortable taking some time away. I was completely out of the cervical collar, able to, hold my head up for, 20, 30 minutes at a time with no pain, and then, fairly minimal pain after that, reasonable pain that I could get through the day with, there they are, sorry. But after that, I started, walking again with the dogs, both the girls, and Dorothy is actually naturally alerted right when we got her first. Pretty soon after Lyric passed, my heart was aching, the house was too quiet, and I couldn't, and John totally understood, and we weren't rushing into it, but she kind of fell into our laps, and she chose John actually to begin with, and she's been alerting to my medical issues naturally, my heart rate and my migraines specifically. So she will basically, I have a heart rate monitor I wear all the time, and so she will basically, alert me constantly before the monitor beeps and warns me that I need to lie down. And then she also does the same thing for my migraines. Like, she'll even find the spot in my head that the migraine is in or is about to be in, and like lick my eye if the pressure's there. It's really crazy. But along with her and a lot of accommodations that John has made for me around the house, I was able to somewhat function, with tons and tons of breaks, a good long nap every day, drain my brain, every 30 minutes to an hour, ideally. So leaving the house is not really too much of an option for me, because you can't really lie down everywhere you go. And being in the car is still pretty painful and uncomfortable for me. So, anywho, but it's been a pretty crazy, busy, very productive, a lot of changes this last year. But for the most part, my treatment's going really well with my neck. So that's awesome. Still do get a little dizzy from time to time, and I still do have my POTS symptoms, definitely with the blood pressure and the heart rate fluctuating all over the place, get out of breath really easily, stuff like that. But that's just to be expected. It takes a lot of time to heal from this. So there's that. And we decided to get me back into treatment at the beginning of this month. And thank goodness we did, just in the nick of time, because just before I went back to treatment, I started having some severe stomach issues. I had been previously diagnosed with pretty serious gastroparesis, but it had gotten worse, or so I thought, and then I was starting to have this extreme pain upon like 1 or 2 bites of food. So it was getting to a point where I was losing weight pretty quickly. I mean, my weight, as most women, fluctuates a little bit here and there every month, but it was a consistent, I could tell, my calories were not high enough. So it's good that I got in. We started looking into some stuff those few weeks before my appointment, and John and I are big researchers now after all this. We figured out, we had to be advocates for me because all of my conditions are so weird and rare that the doctors aren't really, too familiar with everything. So, started doing some research, and luckily the doctor in Florida is familiar with my condition. He's a specialist with people with my Ehlers-Danlos, along with the craniocervical instability. But in addition to that, he is somewhat familiar with another thing that comes along with the Ehlers-Danlos, which are the compression syndromes. Those being MALS, median arcuate ligament syndrome, SMAS, which is superior mesenteric artery syndrome, nutcracker syndrome, and then there's May-Thurner syndrome, which I'm not as familiar with that one because I'm almost certain that I don't have that one. Anywho, but I started researching this stuff because my symptoms seem to fit, and it's one of the really rare things that goes along sometimes with the EDS and CCI patients. And so I'd seen MALS a lot on YouTube, and so I started looking into the MALS. And so when I got to Florida, I told Dr. Hauser and Danielle, I'm curious about this MALS, and they ended up doing some ultrasound testing on my abdomen while I was there. And they could not confirm MALS or SMAS for certain, but they did confirm that I have what is called nutcracker syndrome. So that's super rare, so rare that when I Googled how many people in the United States get diagnosed with it every year, there were like no results on Google. And there's barely anything on YouTube about it. So that's been a little nerve-wracking and frustrating for me. But Dr. Hauser is working with a surgeon up in Connecticut to help with my case because I have such a strange case. The other reason my case is strange is because they discovered that along with my gastroparesis, and probably what's causing my gastroparesis, is the fact that my stomach has not only dropped, but it's like dropped and it's now like this long cylinder along the left side of my body, and the bottom of my stomach is like literally in my pelvis. So that's weird. That's called gastroptosis, and I actually have testing tomorrow to figure out if there is anything else out of place, and to further diagnose the nutcracker syndrome or any other compression syndromes that I may have. So that test is a CT with contrast angiogram type thing tomorrow, and they're going to look at all the veins and everything and arteries and see what's pushing on what and what's causing what and all of that. But because of all these stomach symptoms, I've had a lot of trouble eating, and especially solid foods. I'm trying some conservative methods right now that Dr. Hauser gave me, and they seem to be helping a little bit. Along with my last neck treatment, he also decided to go ahead and do some injections in my left lumbar area where I'm having all my extreme kidney pain, or left flank pain, I guess, from the nutcracker syndrome. So he decided to go ahead and do some injections there and try to stabilize that area a little bit to see if that would alleviate some of my pain and maybe help me with my eating, because with these compression syndromes, it's basically stopping blood flow, or impeding blood flow to your digestive system. And specifically mine, that's confirmed, is to my kidney, but I also could have basically what's compressing my renal vein is my superior mesenteric artery. So there's a very good chance that that is also being compressed. And that supplies, you know, the blood flow to your entire digestive tract. So, you know, fun stuff. I need to further read up on all of this. There's so much that goes into all of these syndromes. And because I have like 12 of them, you know, I have a binder and I have to keep track of everything. But I'm in good spirits. You know, John takes really good care of me. He's gotten me a pregnancy pillow, this super cool cane that has like a getter upper, like a leverage bar on it. It's also got a flashlight and a little siren, which I don't use because it's obnoxious, but it's nifty for when my, you know, legs are feeling really weak or if my left leg pain's really bad. And also while we were there, we got some imaging done on my shoulder for my workers' comp case, which is separate, but because of my EDS, surgery did no good, and my shoulder is worse than it's ever been, and it's never been gotten better. So we had a bunch of stuff done on that, and we are pursuing that, but also got a big shoulder brace that Danielle at Dr. Hauser's office recommended to me. That's also called Caring Medical, by the way, for anybody who's interested. It's in Fort Myers, Florida, and they are fantastic. I don't know what my life condition would be like right now, but I definitely know my quality of life would not be anywhere near what it is without that office, and everybody up there is incredible.